Thank you, Commissioner Brown. 9A, Department of Human Services. Director Smigiel.
Hello again. The DHS budget is on page C28 of your budget document. Really, this is involves costs associated with the Social Services Board. So, as you know, each county in the state has a 3-member Social Services Board. 2 members are appointed by the Board of Commissioners. 1 is appointed by the state of Michigan. And they have a twofold purpose. 1, to run the local office of the Department of Human Services, which deals mostly with emergency needs. And in our case, in other counties that have medical care facilities, they also oversee the operations of, in our case, Martha T. Berry. What's included in the general fund budget are basically 2 activities. One's administration, one's county emergency. The administration is really meeting per diems and memberships for the 3-member board. So they meet at least once a month, and they receive per diems and mileage for that. So that's what's in administration, as well as there's an association of county social services boards. And so there's a membership fee that we pay every year for that. So that's about an $18,000 budget. That budget has been the same for this whole department for many years at about $72,000. The county emergency budget is, in foster care is somewhat the same, although there's nothing been spent there for a couple of years. But county emergency is a safety net where if an individual goes to the DHS office and applies for state aid and they are not eligible or their needs exceed their eligibility, then there's this amount that we've budgeted in the general fund for many years that those folks can take advantage of, essentially. So a lot of what is in the county emergency here involves utilities or assistance with rental to avoid eviction, that sort of thing. But the local DHS office looks to the general fund when somebody doesn't qualify or for state assistance.
In the
from
worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario.
All right. So this has remained relatively stable over the years.
Relatively stable. Yeah, it's been this same budget for many years. I can't tell you how many.
Do John Anderson or Vicky Wolberg get associated with any of this?
Not to my knowledge, no.
All right. All right, thank you. Any comments or questions? Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Oh, thank you. I'm on the wrong thing here. The 72,000 has been, you said, consistent for years, but the actual the actual expenditures have run lower than that, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So we're putting the money in there, but year after year,
We
that
don't
amount
necessarily
hasn't.
spend it all. Some years, if you go back, I'm sure the emergency needs might be closer to the 48 versus, well, you can see in 16 it was close. The per diems, and the membership dues are, they're totaling a little bit less than the 18.
And the per diems is pretty set.
Yeah, mileage, it's $35 a meeting, depending how many
So
meetings they
the amount that's in here is not based on what the actual cost or estimation of the cost is, if it runs different, because we know what their per diem is and we know how often they meet.
Depending on how many meetings they have each year or each month. Sometimes they have more than one meeting. And depending on who's on the board, mileage can change a little bit.
Okay, it's just, it seems consistently like 20,000 off, which is 20,000 is not a lot of money, but percentage of this budget, it is a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, somewhere between 15 and 20. Yeah.
So, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? I see Commissioner Drollet waving, but he's not listed on speakers here.
Just to follow up
Commissioner
on,
Drollet.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to follow up on Commissioner Kleinfeld's comment, why don't we just cut the budget?
We certainly could. I mean, I mentioned that internally today. It was like, I looked at this and I said, well, maybe we leave it for 18, look at it for 19. We're not spending all of it. Now that also then would allow for more emergency needs.
But
No.
if there's that many new emergency needs that it's unprecedented in past years, you guys come back to us and say, we've had unexpected emergency needs, and I'm sure we'd
Certainly
be,
could do that.
willing to look at that. But just seems like an easy
Yeah.
one. I mean, we should kind of budget close to what we anticipate actual needs are likely to
Well,
be.
budget's a plan, but I'm not gonna disagree with you.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? We can argue about this during finance?
I'm not trying to pick an argument. so-
Fair enough. Do we have a motion to receive and file? Because that's what we're doing today. Motion by Kraft, support by Drollet. All in favor, please vote. All opposed, please vote. Thank you. Now then.